Yo, what's good, YouTube, man? It's Gary with John Fan TV, back after another video. Like the content in this video, go smash that like button. Like the content in this channel, go subscribe, man. Look, so the Ravens officially become AFC North champions by beating the Cleveland Browns 35-10. Ravens going to finish the season 12-5. Now it's on to the playoffs, right? So we'll go over the game, talk about some standout performers, some observations from the game, and so yeah, let's just get right into it, right? Standout performers. I think first guy I got to talk about is Nate Wiggins, man. Nate Wiggins, he capped off a very, very good rookie season, regular season, right? Still got the playoffs, obviously. A very good rookie regular season with the pick six, right? Got the Ravens going, got him on the scoreboard. Barely exactly threw it right to him. He played his flat zone perfectly. So we've been waiting on Wiggins to get that interception because, I mean, honestly, he ends the season with one, but he should have, I don't know, four or five by this point, right? So, but we're happy he got that one, took it to the house, okay? Marlon Humphrey. Marlon Humphrey was incredible, I thought, today. Multiple passes defense, fourth down on Jerry Judy. Um, really physical, like really, really physical today, Marlon Humphrey, okay? Um, and then we got to talk about two edge rushers, man. Kyle Van Noy, Odafe All right? Odafe Owe hits double-digit sacks for the first time in his career. He'll get a T-shirt from Chuck Smith because if you saw the Ravens Wired, he gives out like guys shirts for hitting that double-digit sack club, right? All right, so he'll get a T-shirt from Chuck Smith. Also, Kyle Van Noy, man. Kyle Van Noy had another good game today. He got a sack early. That sack earned him another $250,000. I think he needed 2.5 sacks on the day to get 500K on the day. I don't think he got 2.5. Let's say he sacks. So no, he just had the one. So but hey, he got a nice New Year's bonus for Kyle Van Noy, right? So this is the first time the Ravens have had two people in general with 10 plus sacks in the same season since Terrell Suggs and Elvis Duvenville did in 2014, right? Now the Ravens pass rush to me hasn't always been has always been dominant throughout the year, but they've been consistent, right? Um, they're going to need these guys in the playoffs, right? So simple as that. We know that. But Kyle Van Noy, Odafe Oweh, got to give him credit for hitting that double-digit sack mark. That's tough to do, right? So credit to those guys. All right. Offensively, man, we know the two top guys, right? Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry. I'm gonna talk about them, but I want to give credit to Rashad Bateman. All right. Zay Flowers went down today with an injury. We'll talk about that. But Rashad Bateman stepped up in his place, right? So for Rashad Bateman today, 5 catches, 76 yards, and a touchdown on 8 targets. Okay, he got absolutely cleaned. I think that was in the first quarter, maybe early second quarter, by Juan Thornhill. Bounced back from that hit and went on to have a very, very good game. Right? This is the kind of game that we saw from Bateman where we could see the potential of if he was the guy that got a lot of targets. Right? I like what I saw from Rashad Bateman today. Right? So he had a stellar season, over 700 yards, 9 touchdowns, over 40 catches this year for Bateman. So he kind of hit everything that we wanted him to do. And also, Rashad Bateman looks so much more shiftier with the ball than I ever remember him being, right? So that's good to see. He looks like he's moving well. All right. Gotta talk about the two main guys now, right? For stand-up performers. Okay. Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry has 1,900 yards on the season, 15 rushing touchdowns, both franchise record. Well, sorry, not the yards, but the touchdowns is a franchise record. He was 85 yards short from his second time in his career going over 2,000 yards rushing in the season. Also, it's his very first time when playing in Cleveland going over 100 yards, right, in 6 games. So um, he really got it on that long run at the end of the game that made it 35-10, right? So yeah, that's really when he got that 100 plus yards. So very, very good game for Derrick Henry. Incredible signing, right? It's something that you got to be proud of. The Ravens brought him in, right? Um, he's not washed. He shows that he's still King Henry. Okay. Last but not least, Lamar Jackson. All right, Lamar Jackson for me, back-to-back MVP should be coming his way. It should be his third MVP of his career. That will put him in rarefied air of winning 3 MVPs, right? That's a very rare feat to come across. Right? Not too many quarterbacks have done that. That would pretty much lock up his case as a Hall of Fame QB only in year 7 of his career. Okay, he finishes this game 16 for 32, 217 yards. A lot of drops by the receivers. We'll talk about that, but overall in the season, 4,100 yards passing, another 900 yards rushing. First in NFL history to have that combo. 5,000 yards from from scrimmage. Ravens franchise record. 45 total touchdowns in a single season. Ravens franchise record. Only 4 interceptions when throwing 41 touchdown passes. So an incredible year. Now Lamar, he didn't reach the. He only had a pass rate in this game of 92.8. A lot of that is not his fault, honestly. So he's not going to break, Aaron Rodgers' all-time single season record for quarterback rating. Unfortunate, but that doesn't diminish what he did this year, right? So all-time great season from Lamar Jackson. Um, and this game, he fought through a lot, right? A lot wasn't going Ravens' way early, but he continued to fight. And I like what I saw from Lamar Jackson out there, as I usually do, right? He played a really, really good game today. All right. Now, the game as a whole, right? Let's talk about the game as a whole. Okay, so first thing I want to mention is just a couple of injuries, right? So McCurry, if you notice, the Ravens were rotating at left guard. McCurry, like he tried to go, the illness was too much, right? So Voorhees and Cleveland pretty much was in there. Okay, uh, uh, rotating. Kyle Hamilton went out with an arm injury. He came back. The big one is Zay Flowers. All right, when Zay Flowers went down, I was nervous because he was grabbing that right leg on his knee. But the good thing is when watching the replay, it's not like it's a non-contact thing where it looked like something tore and he just collapsed. It looked like somebody landed on his leg, right? I know that sounds like how was that better, but to me, complete speculation. Don't know anything, but to me that was signal that hopefully it's more of like a bruise, than something torn. We don't know yet, but he left the game. He did not return. I'm hoping it's more of a bruise type of thing that he'll get wrapped up and he'll be able to play next week. We'll see. All right. So that's a bad part, right? Now some other observations from this game. Okay. All right. To start off this game, this was very very much like the playoff games of years past, the ghost of playoff games past, right? All right. Too many drops, too many penalties, sloppy, poor execution, run game wasn't going. Also, far as rotating the guards, when we Voorhees in Cleveland, I wish they would just pick a guy. All right, I get it. Both guys haven't had a lot of reps, so you're trying to see out who's going to play better. Offensive line is about cohesion. It's about being a cohesive unit. You're rotating these guys in and out is not doing either one a favor. Pick a guy, let him play. All right. I wasn't a fan of when they was rotating tackles last year, even though I understood it because Ronnie Stanley was coming off an injury, and I understood it. But when guys are healthy, as Ben Cleveland and Voorhees are healthy, stop rotating them. Pick a guy, go forward with that guy. All right. So didn't like that, right? I thought the offensive line struggled once again with a very physical unit with the Cleveland Browns. Okay. When it comes to the wide receivers, right? Really pass catches in general, because Mark Andrews had multiple passes ripped out of his hands today. All right, I'm glad Mark Andrews caught a touchdown pass. His 11th touchdown catch of the year. I think he had like zero the first 5 weeks, so he went on an absolute tear to end the season. That's great. But too many times this game, I could count maybe 2, 3 times where he has the ball and it's simply poked out of his hands, ripped out of his hands. Okay, on crucial downs as well. All right, when it's come to the playoff time, it's time to make tough catches, right? Some of these plays aren't going to be made. Like sometimes the defenders make a better play, right? To me, Rashad Bateman, when he got clean by Juan Thornhill, would you like him to catch that ball? Sure. But that's just a great hit by the safety, right? I mean, it's clean, good hit. He just lodged the football. Some of these other ones, Zay Flowers dropped a slant early, um, likely dropped a pass. Okay, he juggled another one. They ended up bringing down. We talked about Andrews, Rasheen Ali. I'm sorry, Rasheen Ali just can't play right now. Right, I'm not talking about what he can do for the future for the Ravens, but you have Keaton Mitchell. Hopefully, you'll have Justice Hill back next week. No Rasheen Ali, really. All right, I would love to see Keaton Mitchell just get all of those reps. All right, not saying Keaton Mitchell is the perfect player. I've seen enough for him to where I can trust him in situations. Right. I think it was the third, fourth quarter. Lamar tries to throw Rasheen Ali a screen. Rasheen Ali's not even in the right place, so Lamar has to throw it in the ground. Right. There's little details like that. Not good enough. Okay. Offensively, just very sloppy. Okay, so remember what we talked about the last couple of weeks, right? The Ravens won a turnover battle. The Ravens won a penalty battle. The Ravens did pretty good with the turnover battle. Now they had some turnovers on downs, which to me counts as penalties. They had about 3 of those. So to me, those are turnovers, right? So you didn't really win the turnover battle. Okay, Bailey Zappi is what he is, not very good. So he threw some interceptions today. But sloppy on that, right? Then we got to talk about the penalties. The Ravens were penalized 10 times to the Browns 3. Once again, the Browns are not a good football team. They were trying to lose this game today, or at least from the front office was. They were trying to lose this game today. And the Ravens did themselves no favors, right? The Browns' touchdown drives only kept alive because of multiple penalties by the Ravens. Do I agree with some of those penalties? No. But that's going to happen in the playoffs, right? So very sloppy on that end when it comes to penalties, right? Now, on the defensive side of the ball, we got to talk about Brandon Stevens. Okay. Brandon Stevens was targeted by the Cleveland Browns today. And that's a shameful thing. Okay. When we're talking about a team that is 3-13, right? I get Jerry Judy's a weapon. Elijah Moore's a decent receiver. But when they see Jamari Thrash one-on-one with Brandon Stevens, they say, oh, yeah, that's the matchup I'm going to. And you let Thrash catch the football because you don't get your head around. But luckily, you knock it out before he crosses the goal line, so it's not a touchdown. The Browns, on one drive in the third quarter, attacked Brandon Stevens at least 4 plays in a row. All right. That's going to be an issue coming to playoff time. All right. The Ravens have to make an adjustment to that. My adjustment personally, Trey White, from what I've seen, he's played better. I don't know. I don't think you make Trey White your full-time starter, but you mix him in more. Him and Brandon Stevens should almost be playing evenly. All right. They should almost be going 50% of the snaps out there, out wide. All right. Because this is why. Trey White, since he's been here, has shown good feet, good job attacking the ball. And when the ball is attacked down, when the ball's on down the field, he gets his head around and plays the football. The biggest weakness in Brandon Stevens' game, he does not do that. All right. So that was disappointing to see once again because this has been a problem the entire season. And if you think that, the Ravens, we'll see who they play in the first round of the playoffs, but, say it's Justin Herbert. You don't think he's going to go after that. Say it's Russell Wilson. He's going to go after that. All right. That's going to be an issue. Say you get past the wild card round. All right. Josh Allen's going to attack that. Patrick Mahomes, whoever you want to go down the list is going to attack that flaw. So that's a big issue for the Ravens. Okay. So this game today was meant to make me feel good about going into the playoffs, and that first half did not make me feel that way. All right, the defense played solid. They did their thing. Offensively, it was very, very sloppy. Okay, it was the kind of game that gives you bad flashbacks of what the Ravens have been in the past in the playoffs, right? I mean, it's a point to the game where if Nate Wiggins doesn't catch that pick six, right, it's 21-10 third quarter. This could be 14-10 with this terrible Browns team who was trying to lose this football game. And there's no way that you can make an excuse for that. All right, you can't do it. Okay. So for the Ravens, and a lot of people are going to say, well, Tom Monk maybe try to get too cute early in the game. I saw them running the ball, and it just wasn't very effective because up front they were getting bullied. All right, so this Ravens offensive line is going to have to play stronger. When it comes to the playoffs, teams are going to attack your weak points because that's what playoff football is, right? And the Ravens' weak points are two things. Can you get off man-to-man coverage, right? Can you show that? I think the Ravens have guys to do that. I wish they would have kept Deontay Johnson, but that's a story for another day. All right. Secondly, these guards on the interior, whoever is playing, whether it's going to be Falele for sure, and then whoever one of the 3 guys is at left guard, if McCurry can't come back, then whatever. It'll be McCurry if he's healthy next week. Okay. Teams are going to attack your guard positions, your guard spots. Can they hold up? That's what it's going to come down to, right? So for the Ravens, we'll see, right? This game, like I said, is supposed to make you feel good about going to the playoffs. It's supposed to be a nice, dominant win. No sweat. Starters out, end of the third quarter. Fourth quarter, Josh Johnson's playing off 15 minutes, right? It didn't really go that way, right? The Ravens end this game 35-10, but I can't say that it was a good performance or a dominant performance how we wanted to see it. I can't say that because that'd be a lot to me, right? But in the end, they did do enough to win the football game. They do secure the AFC North title, and we'll see who they end up playing next week in the playoffs. Whether that's going to be a Pittsburgh team or whether that's going to be like a who else could they play? Chargers, I think, is the other team that's kind of in the mix for them to play, right? So we'll see who that ends up being, right? But for the Ravens, it's a lot to improve on, all right? Pass catchers got to be better. O-line has to be better. I like the fact that Lamar Jackson took a lot of running lanes today. I'm not talking about design runs. I'm talking about if he didn't, if 1, 2, 3, he got out the pocket, tried to make a play with his legs. I like that, right? That's going to be a tool in the playoffs, right? Just don't sit, wait, hope, make a play, right? Get a couple yards, get those yards. He did that today. That was effective, right? So I did appreciate that, but overall, the Ravens offense, the Ravens team in general, could have did a lot better, right? AFC North division games are always tricky, but this is one of those games where I felt like the Ravens got in their own way. And how many times do we say that when it comes to January football that the Ravens got in their own way and they lost the football game? All right. I don't want to see that happen for the 2024 version of the Ravens. I really don't want to see 2024-25 version of the Ravens. I really don't want to see that. But the way they played today showed me that it's a possibility in January that they will get in their own way. We'll see what happens. Hopefully Zay Flowers is okay, that he'll come back next week and play. But besides that, that's really all my thoughts on the game. Obviously, guys, give me your thoughts in the comments. Reply to all comments, man. But it's Gabriel to the Fan TV. I'm out.